Without sacrifice, there can be no victory. This is a quote from the Michael Bay movies. It is one of the only good quotes, in my opinion, from the franchise, that being Michael Bay produced. And that franchise is, of course, Transformers. Hello everybody, my name is Buttermaster235, and welcome to a new series of videos I call Beloved Forever. And before I continue, yes, I am a pony. Long story short, don't use an Infinity Gauntlet without knowing how to use it. Anyway, back to the video. Good old Transformers. Whether you like the movies or not, everyone can agree that the premise of Transformers is awesome. You have alien race of robots called the Autobots and Decepticons, aka the Cybertronians, battling on our planet for both good and evil. And to think, not too long ago, Transformers was nothing but a silly cartoon for young children. Today, I'm going to talk about the series as a whole, give short descriptions of the TV series shows that aired, and then express my opinions on them, as well as what the fandom of Transformers thought of them. So without further ado, let's roll! The first ever Transformers TV show to air was The Transformers. It aired in 1984. The show's main goal was not only to entertain children of the 80s, but it was also to sell the toys that they can. It's a good enough cartoon, and while it can be cringy at times, there are some really cool episodes. Due to the fact that I was not alive in the 80s, I did not watch it. However, I recently did get access to watch them. There are some good episodes and some bad, but it was all good enough. However, in 1987, there was a masterpiece called The Transformers, the movie. I know, a lot of those, but with 80s cartoons, you get used to it. Anyways, this was the best Transformers movie of all time, without a doubt, the holy grail of all Transformers. Right. About that. So, the movie, like the show, was made not only to entertain children, but to promote new toys that were released at the time. However, in order to release the new toys, Hasbro and Takatomi needed to remove some toys on the shelf, which meant they needed to kill off some of the characters. And it's not like people still do that. I mean, who would possibly kill off loved characters in a franchise?
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to.
Anyways, the people who made the movie thought children could handle the characters dying. However, they did not count on angry parents thinking the movie was not appropriate for their children. And so the movie lost a lot of its ratings. However, that is not the only thing that was lost in this movie. Yes, Optimus Prime died. So apparently, the Optimus Prime toy did not sell well enough to keep Prime on screen, which is beyond dumb. I mean, seriously, the Optimus Prime toy not selling well enough. I mean, that is so. And so, this movie also became famous for featuring the first of many Optimus Prime deaths. However sad this scene was, it was kind of pointless, because one TV series later, he came back alive and well. As for the rest of the series, it did as well as you thought it would. Eventually, in 1987, the show ended on its 4th season, and for 9 years, it was apparent that the Transformers series was dead as a franchise. However, in 1966,
Wait, aren't you forgetting something?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, fine. There was something called Transformers Generation 2, but we don't talk about it for many reasons. One of them being that it's just a repackage of Generation 1. Now, if we could please just continue the video.
You are forgetting a major part of the Transformers.
Anyways, as I was saying, in 1966, something called Transformers Beast Wars was released. It was the first Transformers show to be made from 3D CGI, and it... Okay, guys, calm down, guys, jeez, calm down, God, jeez, Celestia's sake. Okay, before you all start screaming again, yes, Beast Wars does look really, really bad. Now, before all of you go in the comment section and rant about me hating Beast Wars, I want to say I don't hate it. In fact, I'm wanting to watch it really badly. When I say it looks bad, I'm talking about the terrible, horrible animation. God, that human just looks wrong. Anyways, the story and characters in the series are amazing, and I have heard nothing but great things from it, and hope to watch it someday in the future. In fact, I hear people of the series give this a big
Yes.
And besides, it may be old, but it's not like it has bad jokes or really obvious product placement in it or anything. I mean, TV shows can be like that, but not Beast Wars. Not Beast Wars.
And if we're talking unnatural life forms, then we gotta be talking about just one thing. Robots in disguise!
We're just gonna pretend like that never happened, okay? Okay. That never happened. That never happened. Understood, everyone? It had a decent run. It ran for 4 seasons and got a sequel called Beast Machines that lasted 2 seasons. After Beast Wars ended, Beast Machines aired, and not a lot of people liked it. There were some good elements in the show, however, many people thought it could have been better. The final episode of the series pretty much wrapped up all of Generation 1. AKA, the first generation, because according to a lot of people, Beast Wars is actually in the same canon universe as Generation 1. So when Beast Wars ended, Generation 1 kind of did. And until 2001, the Transformers saga looked like it had died yet again. Speaking of 2001, in 2001, Transformers Robots in Disguise was released. It was released in the US. Now, originally, it was called Transformer Car Robots, but this was the title of it in Japan. So we're ignoring them for now, because if I talked about all the Japanese cartoons included, this video would probably be about an hour long. Many people were glad that the original 2D animation was back in place of the 3D ones from Beast Wars. However, unlike the original Transformers, the bad guys were not the Decepticons. Instead, due to them resembling the animals from Earth, they took the name Predacons from Beast Wars. The show lasted until 2002, and unlike the previous series before them, the next series came very fast. In fact, it came the same year later that summer. And this is where the series started to take a really bad turn. In 2002, a new series called Transformers Armada came out. It was the first of what would be known as the Unicron trilogy, which consisted of dubbing 3 Transformers Japanese cartoons that had nothing to do with each other into one's overarching story. It was widely loved amongst the community, and—
You liar.
Oi! Shut it, or I'm sending Pinkie Pie after you! God. Anyway, the show at the time is not particularly liked amongst the Transformers community. It was also not liked amongst the Japanese cartoon community, and so it did not do well for the Transformers fans as far as I'm concerned, at least. The show lasted until 2003, and many people were worried about what would come next in the series, and they had no idea what's next to come. In 2004, Transformers Energon was released on TV, and oh god, it was really, really bad. The show was choppy, horribly animated. Like, if you thought Beast Wars animation was ugly, you haven't seen Transformers Energon's animation. Half the time, the storyboard was still on the final product, and it was really, really bad. The writing was atrocious. Half of the time, episodes didn't even make sense with one another, and didn't even coherce with the plot. It ended in June of 2005, and it appeared that the only thing that could save the franchise was the next series, and people were hoping that they would get a miracle.
Our worlds are in danger. To save them and the galaxy, we must find the 4 cyber planet keys before the Decepticons can use them for evil. It is our mission. Hotshot, Jetfire, Vector Prime, Landmine, Scattershot, Optimus Prime, transform and roll out!
Transformers, moving meets behind.
Autobots, Decepticons!
Transformers, robots in disguise.
Transformers! Transformers! The Autobots wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons.
As you can tell by that magnificent opening, we are now talking about Transformers CYBERTRON. It aired on TV right after Energon stopped, and it is so much better than its predecessor. While the animation was still clunky and blocky, the writing in my opinion was better. The fandom thinks the show was so much better than their Energon 2, but it was also not liked as well. The show was full of references to G1, and the show even made attempts to avoid the mistakes Energon and Armada did in their show. However, it definitely had a good ending to the Unicron trilogy, having a very anime-like-esque ending battle between Optimus and Megatron. And after that, in 2006, when it ended, it seemed that the Transformers series was over, and nobody knew really what was next for the franchise. And then, in 2007, a clip was shown in movie theaters that would forever change the Transformers franchise. Now, usually I would go into more depth about the Transformers movies. However, I'm going to avoid them for now. In fact, I'm planning on talking about them far in the future. So instead, I'm going to continue with the video, and we'll touch up upon that another day. So let's move on, shall we? Towards the end of 2007, due to the success of the Transformers movie, Transformers Animated was released, and being the first American-made Transformers show since Beast Machines, and it was like a gift from heaven. Sadly, however, many people did not like the fact that the show looked like a children's show, which it was, and so many of the fans were turned away. However, it was soon being praised as being the Transformers show that saved the franchise. It was full of G1 references and was bold in its writing. The show took place in a universe in which the Autobots won the Cybertronian War and drove the Decepticons off of Cybertron. They also made Ultra Magnus out of all bots, the leader, and Optimus Prime, a space bridge technician / Autobot elite hard flunkout. The show took many risks and introduced new characters that would soon be known across the fandom, like Bulkhead, Lockdown, Lugnut, Alita 1. They all made it their way into future shows. However, something dark was approaching the Transformers fandom. Something that was made of greed and something made of money. And that thing was Cartoon Network. And soon, Season 4 of Transformers Animated was cancelled. To this day, the Transformers fandom wants a Season 4 from either Cartoon Network or Hasbro, the current owner of Transformers. And it looked like yet again the Transformers series would die. However, something was coming to the Transformers fandom that would erase everything. Something amazing. Something awesome. Something dark and gritty. Something Prime. In 2010, Transformers Prime was aired on television, and oh my gosh, it was everything we ever wanted. It had action, death, character development, references, and amazing writing. It also had the original voice actors of Optimus Prime and Megatron return, which made the show even better. The show still is considered the best Transformers cartoon of all time. The show had an amazing run of 3 seasons and lasted until 2013, and was a part of the newly formed Aligned continuity, which took place in the same universe as other television shows airing at the same time. Then, in the following year, a TV movie called Transformers Beast Hunters Predacons Rising aired, which pretty much wrapped up the entire series. It was a brilliant ending to the series, and people were excited that there was something like this on air. Luckily though, just because Transformers Prime is over, it didn't mean that we had to end the series completely. Because like I said, Transformers Prime is part of a continuity of different television shows taking place in the same universe. In 2012, during Prime's third season, Transformers Rescue Bots aired. It was a lot like Animated, it being made for younger children. However, like another certain show on Discovery Family / The Hub, it was well written and was attracting some of the original fans. The writing was good and there was some character development in it. It was also in the same universe as Transformers Prime, it being in the continuity of the Aligned. It was very exciting for people to see Bumblebee and Optimus Prime be in a show in which it didn't center a focus around those two. So it was a really bold show like Transformers Animated, not having the main characters like Optimus Prime or Bumblebee being in the same show. Instead, them being in their own adventures of being in Transformers Prime. However, in 2016, it ended. Due to Transformers Prime ending in 2012, it was a little weird being no Transformers shows at the time. However, was not all bad. I mean, the show ended, it left room for really good shows, so you could really say there was nothing to follow up Prime. Yep, totally. Nothing at all. Nope. Zitch, zel. Okay, fine. Let's get this over and done with. In 2015, Cartoon Network decided to go into the cellar of retired cartoons and pull out Transformers, and using their corrupted hands of filth and money making, they made Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015. And this was an official sequel to Transformers Prime. Oh god. This is just not a good show. It isn't. There is nothing good I can say about it. The introductions, the season premieres, and the season finales were all good, and those are probably the only good parts about the show. The rest of it was just all Teen Titans Go-ified. When it was first announced, people were excited and wanted to find out what would happen next to their favorite cartoon characters of Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, RC, Bulkhead, all of them. But no, they were given this load of Tartarus. It was horrible. The fandom was outraged, and it seemed yet again the Transformers saga would be ruined by another TV show. And when it did end, honestly, it looks like the show would die. However, in 2018, Transformers CYBERVERSE aired on Cartoon Network. The show was okay. It wasn't bad, and it wasn't good either. It had a lot of references about G1. It was actually heavily focused on G1 as well, remaking the series in whole. It was very G1-like, bringing back the designs and everything. It didn't have the same voice actors, although the voice actors are okay. But I'm not going to dwell on that. As of now, Transformers CYBERVERSE is the only Transformers show airing on television at the moment, and it's getting a season 2, which actually looks pretty good. It looks like there will be more action in this show as well. Hopefully someday there will be a Transformers show that will be able to fill the gap Prime left, because at the moment, the show is yet again going through a writer's block. I would say that history is sort of repeating itself with the Transformers saga, with Beast Wars and Transformers Generation 1 being the previous Prime and Rescue Bots, and Transformers Rid being the CYBERTRON and Energon that was in the 2000s. I hope someday that there will be a show out there that will be able to fill the gap Transformers Prime left. I know it's highly doubtful, and that there's not going to be a show like Transformers Prime or the original ever again, but a man can hope, and I have a feeling that in the future we might get something like Transformers Prime. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Beloved Forever. I want to thank all my subscribers for being patient with me about there being no episodes for the past year. I've been preparing some major changes, and I hope to get this series going. I will also be airing some other series sometime in the future, and I hope you all enjoy those as well. So yet again, thank you for watching.